The villagers of Omiwoma believed the forest behind the stream was not an ordinary place. They said the trees whispered at night. They said strange lights moved among the leaves, like spirits walking. No one entered that forest after sunset, not even the bravest hunters. But one early morning, something happened that changed the whole village forever. A woman named Nwamika, a widow who had no children, woke up before dawn to fetch firewood. She was a quiet woman who minded her business. People respected her because she carried her pain with dignity. That morning, as she moved deeper into the forest, she felt something strange, like the air was thicker, like someone was watching her. Still, she forced herself to go on. She needed firewood to cook. Suddenly, she heard a soft cry. It was so gentle that she almost thought it was the sound of wind blowing through the trees. But then she heard it again, clearer. It was the cry of a baby. Nwamika froze. No child should be in that forest. She held her breath and listened. The cry grew louder, coming from behind a cluster of tall irako trees. With her heart beating fast, she dropped her firewood bundle and followed the sound. There, lying on a bed of glowing white leaves, was a baby girl. The sight was shocking. The leaves under the baby were shining as if touched by moonlight, but the sun had already started rising. The baby was wrapped in a cloth made from fine material that looked nothing like anything woven by human hands. Her skin glowed softly, like warm gold, and her tiny fingers sparkled with dust that looked like fine stars. Nwamika stepped back. Her mind told her, this is not an ordinary child, but something else, something gentle, pulled her closer. When she reached down and lifted the baby, the crying stopped. The child opened her eyes and Nwamika felt her heart melt. The baby looked at her with such calmness, such peace, that tears filled her eyes. "Who dropped you here?" she whispered. "Who left such a precious child?" Then a soft wind blew around Nwamika, circling her like an embrace. She shivered. It felt as if unseen hands were guiding her. She knew the stories. Spirits sometimes left children for chosen people. But why her? Why now? Suddenly, the wind formed a whisper in her ear. "Achalugo." Nwamika gasped and looked around. No one was there. The forest was quiet again, but the name repeated in her mind like an echo. She looked at the glowing child and knew at once that it was her name. "Achalugo," Nwamika repeated softly. "Beautiful treasure." The baby smiled. At that moment, every fear left Nwamika. She wrapped the baby securely in her shawl and hurried home. When she returned to Omiwoma, the villagers gathered around her compound. They stared at the child with wide eyes and whispered among themselves. "Where did this child come from? She looks like a spirit child. Should we touch her?" "No, you never touch a child you don't understand." Nwamika ignored their murmuring and carried the baby into her hut. The village elders later arrived. They were old men with strong voices and long memories. The oldest, Elder Medu, asked Nwamika to explain everything she saw. She told them about the glowing leaves, the strange cloth, the whisper of the wind. The elders exchanged frightened looks. "This is dangerous," another elder said. "A child of the forest should never be brought into the village. Spirits do not leave children without reason." But Elder Medu raised his hand. "Let us watch first. If the spirits sent this child, then we must not anger them." The woman did not steal her. She only answered a cry. The others agreed, reluctantly. From that day, Nwamika became the mother of the child she named Achalugo. She raised her with love and care. But everyone in Omiwoma could see that the girl was not ordinary. As she grew, strange things began to happen. Flowers opened when she touched them. Birds followed her when she walked. Sick animals recovered when she sat near them. Even the wind moved differently, softer, calmer whenever she passed. Some villagers loved her, some feared her, but everyone knew one thing. Achalugo was not just a child. She was chosen by the spirits. And though she lived among humans, the forest never stopped calling her. Sometimes at night, she would stand outside, looking toward the dark trees. Her eyes would glow faintly, like someone remembering a home they had never seen. Nwamaka worried for her. She feared the day the spirits might return for the child they left behind. And deep in the forest, where the sunlight never fully reached, unseen eyes watched Achalugo grow. The spirits had a plan for her, a plan no human could stop. As the years passed, Achalugo grew into a beautiful young girl with calm eyes and a gentle spirit. She loved Nwamaka deeply and treated her with respect. But no matter how much she tried to behave like other children in the village, she could not hide who she truly was. Strange things followed her everywhere. One day, when Achalugo was 7 years old, a heavy sickness came into Omuoma. Several children fell ill at the same time. Their bodies became hot and their breathing grew weak. Mothers cried and fathers begged the gods for help. The village healer tried many herbs, but nothing worked. One afternoon, Achalugo went to visit one of the sick boys, a child named Osandu. His mother sat outside the hut weeping. "My child, my only child," she cried. Achalugo felt her heart break. She asked softly, "Can I see him?" The woman nodded, too tired to ask questions. Inside the hut, the boy lay helpless. His skin was burning. His lips were dry. Achalugo sat beside him and held his hand. The moment she touched him, a cool breeze entered the room. The air softened. The boy's heavy breathing became lighter. Achalugo closed her eyes. Something inside her, something older than the village, older than the trees, stirred. Her body glowed faintly. A soft light covered her hand, then moved into the boy's body. The room filled with warmth, like morning sunlight touching cold water. Suddenly, Osandu opened his eyes. He sat up slowly and whispered, "Achalu." His mother heard his voice and rushed inside. When she saw her son awake and breathing well, she screamed with joy, "My child, you are healed. Oh, spirits of our land, thank you." But when her eyes fell on Achalugo, who still glowed faintly, she froze. Fear and awe mixed in her eyes. "What are you, my child?" she whispered. Achalugo stood and stepped back. She had no answer. The news spread across the village like wildfire. The spirit girl healed Osandu. She brought a dying child back to life. Some villagers praised her. Some feared her more than ever. That night, the elders called an emergency meeting. Nwamaka was invited too. Achalugo sat quietly beside her mother, her head bowed. Elder Medu looked at the girl for a long time. Then he spoke. "Achalugo, do you know who you are?" Achalugo's heart beat fast. She shook her head slowly. "I only know what Mama told me, that she found me in the forest." The elders nodded. Then Elder Medu said the words that made the whole hut grow silent. "You are a spirit's daughter. You were not born by any woman of this village. The forest gave you to us, and the forest will one day demand you back." Nwamaka gasped. "No, she is my daughter. I raised her. I love her. No forest spirit will take her away." Achalugo held Nwamaka's hand tightly, tears in her eyes. "Mama, please." But Elder Medu continued, "The signs around this girl are not ordinary. Her healing power, the wind that follows her, the animals that bow before her, these things belong to beings that are not human." "But she is human," Nwamaka cried. "She laughs, she cries, she feels pain." "Maybe," the elder said quietly, "but her destiny may not allow her to stay among us." The meeting ended with no solution, but the words stayed in Achalugo's mind. That night she could not sleep. She walked outside and stood under the moon. The wind circled her gently like a friend. "Who am I?" she whispered to the night sky. Then a soft voice came from the forest. "Achalugo." She froze. Her heart raced. The voice called again, gentle, familiar, and ancient. Daughter of the spirit, it is time to know the truth. The trees rustled, even though there was no wind. The air glowed, faintly. Achalugo took a step toward the forest, then stopped. She remembered Nwamika's warning from long ago. Never go into the forest alone. But the voice called again, warmer and more urgent. Come, your journey has begun. Achalugo felt a strong pull inside her chest. Something in the forest was connected to her. Something important. Just as she took another step, strong arms pulled her back. It was Nwamika. Achalugo, she cried, trembling. Don't go in there. Mama, someone called me. I know, Nwamika whispered, her voice weak with fear. The spirits want you, but I will not let them take you away. Achalugo hugged her tightly. I don't want to leave you, Mama. Nwamika held her close. Then you won't. I will protect you. But deep in her heart, Achalugo knew the truth. The spirits had begun calling her, and no one, not even Nwamika, could stop what was coming. Far inside the forest, unseen eyes watched her with interest. The time was getting closer. Achalugo's true identity would soon be revealed. The next few days in Omuoma were filled with fear and confusion. Some villagers believed Achalugo was a blessing from the gods. Others believed she was a danger waiting to happen. Everywhere she went, people stared at her. Some bowed in respect, while others moved away quickly, afraid of her glowing presence. Nwamika tried to protect her daughter, but the fear in the village was growing like fire on dry leaves. One evening, as the sun was setting and the sky turned gold, the earth beneath the village shook. Not like an earthquake, but like footsteps. Heavy, ancient footsteps. The animals ran. Birds flew in circles. The wind changed direction. Everyone in Omuoma gathered outside in fear. What is happening? The spirits are angry. Cover the children. Suddenly, a bright light appeared at the edge of the forest. It grew larger and brighter until it formed the shape of a tall woman. Her body shimmered like moonlight on water. Her hair flowed like smoke. Her eyes carried the power of the unseen world. She stepped into the village. The villagers fell to their knees immediately. Some screamed. Others cried. Nwamika grabbed Achalugo's hand and pushed her behind her. She stood in front of the glowing being, her voice shaking. Do not touch my daughter, Nwamika said bravely. The spirit woman looked at Nwamika with gentle eyes. You have cared for her well, human woman, but Achalugo is not yours to keep. Nwamika's knees weakened. Tears filled her eyes. But she is my child. I found her. I raised her. I love her. Achalugo's heart broke. She stepped forward slowly. Mama. The spirit woman extended her hand toward Achalugo. You were born in the world of spirits. You belong to us. You were left here to grow, to learn kindness, to understand humans. But now your time is complete. Achalugo felt the pull again, a warm force inside her chest calling her home. But she turned to Nwamika. Mama, please say something. Nwamika fell to her knees and held Achalugo tightly. Please don't take her away. She is all I have. The spirit woman watched them with eyes full of sorrow. You must understand. Achalugo is not human. Her powers will grow beyond your control. She will bring danger to herself and to you. Achalugo shook her head. I don't want to leave Mama. She gave me love. She gave me a life. The spirit woman knelt before her. Child of the wind, daughter of the forest, your destiny is bigger than this village. Achalugo looked down at her hands. Light began to glow again, brighter than ever before. The wind circled her so strongly that leaves lifted from the ground. The villagers gasped. She is becoming one of them. She is a spirit. She must go. Tears streamed down Achalugo's face. I don't want to go. Nwamika held her tighter. Then you will not go. I will fight for you. But the spirit woman shook her head gently. You cannot fight destiny. She touched Achalugo's forehead with one glowing finger. In that moment, Achalugo saw everything. She saw a world of glowing rivers and floating mountains. She saw beings made of light. She saw her true mother, a spirit queen, smiling at her from a throne of stars. She saw herself as she truly was, a child born from light, sent to the human world to learn compassion. Her knees became weak. She understood everything now. When the vision ended, she looked at Nwamaka with deep sadness. Mama, I was not born here. Nwamaka cried softly. I know, but you are still mine. The spirit woman stood up. It is time. The wind roared. The trees bowed. The ground glowed under Achalugo's feet. Achalugo turned to her mother and hugged her one last time. Thank you for loving me. I will never forget you. Nwamaka held her tightly, refusing to let go. You are my child. Spirit or not, you are mine. Achalugo pulled away slowly. Her body was now glowing brightly, so bright that no one could look directly at her. The spirit woman lifted her hand and whispered ancient words. A swirling portal of light opened behind her. Achalugo took a step toward it, then stopped. She looked one more time at Nwamaka, memorizing her face, her tears, her love. I will come back, Achalugo whispered. One day. Nwamaka nodded, her voice breaking. I will wait for you. With a final breath, Achalugo stepped into the portal. The light swallowed her. The spirit woman followed. The portal closed. Silence filled the village. The wind stopped. The trees stood still. The glowing lights disappeared. Nwamaka fell to the ground, crying uncontrollably. The villagers stood around her, speechless. They knew the truth. Achalugo had returned to where she came from, but her promise echoed in the air. I will come back. And deep inside the forest, where the spirits walk and the moon sings, a new star began to shine, marking the place where Achalugo's journey had just begun.